Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a video about an upcoming system that could be affecting portions of the Northeast, actually, Long Island, New Jersey, possibly with some snow. Now, this has been pretty new update in the new past couple of model runs. This really has solidified itself, and this wasn't as prevalent in the other model runs even a couple of days ago, even earlier today. It has now shown itself across the Northeast, and I will definitely have to keep an eye out for this, as this could definitely turn into a spring nor'easter. Doesn't seem overly impressive. There won't be 3 feet of snow, but there could be areas where over half a foot would fall, and that's interesting. And I also do apologize, I haven't been uploading as frequently. Sure, there's just a lot of going on right now, a lot of chaos, and even besides that, I also, I'm into the gardening, and right now the garden is starting to get active, so I'll definitely be looking at that, being more active in a gardening channel. You can link in the description below. You could consider subscribing, and otherwise, I will be uploading a lot more to this channel come, July, August. I'll keep uploading through this channel through that time. May, April, I will be uploading, just maybe not as frequently. We'll see, that may change. I may be uploading more frequently. But if you have any ideas for the fall and winter videos, like if you recall last year, I was, I did all the video ideas about what would be a cool, I don't know, like how would a cold summer impact the winter, or how would something that. So if you have any cool ideas about winter or any winter predictions, that would be cool. Like kind of along the basis of, when will you see your first snow, kind of like that. If you have any ideas like that, please leave them in the comments box below, as that could be very useful. So let's get into this. Sorry about that. It's 2 minutes of talking. Haven't talked in a while about my life in this channel. So let's start off with the GFS model. Let's look at the continental United States, and I wanted to go right here, precipitation and MSLP, so mean sea level pressure. And okay, so this is our area of interest, right? We are looking at a pretty large storm right now going on. I apologize, I should have reported on this. I didn't. That is obviously my bad. I do apologize, and I do feel sorry about that. But sometimes this channel isn't huge. If it becomes larger, I would be taking this to a level higher, where I would be uploading daily for sure. But at this point, it seems that the viewers have gone down, and that's typical. It's spring, so views usually go down and around spring. I'm not worried about that, because I know they'll go back up in fall. But I'm just a little bit less motivated, if you will. So I do apologize. But notice that we see a pretty decent area of precipitation move off the coast. The storm that's been occurring, tornadoes, severe weather, all that bad good stuff. Maybe the only good thing is snow. Even that is hard fetched. You can see that we have some precipitation off the coast of California, or yeah, basically comes off the coast of California with this system right here. This low pressure that is basically not existent at this point picks it up, and it travels across the United States. You can see some light to moderate rain across the Ohio Valley, lower Mississippi Valley, and notice that it includes a little bit of snow across Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and that's actually been consistent with a lot of models. So it looks like these areas won't get a huge amount, maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow, which really isn't too strange for March, late to mid-March. That still could occur. And this is where things get a little bit different. See, the GFS definitely has snow across the Northeast, though it's limited, and it really pushes in a lot more warmer air, and you can see it's mainly rain. Now, the European model is a different story. Also, notice how it intensifies the storm once it's off coast. That could be interesting to see how it does that in the future, as I know things could definitely change, and we'll have to see how that evolves. Notice the GFS also puts out another storm right there. So there's still, a couple of storms we'll have to look at through this early spring into mid-spring time frame, where snowstorms will still be occurring. Let's look at the European model. The European model, you can see, has a different scenario. It's right now Again, this storm pushes off. Some of this precipitation lingers behind it. Almost, it kind of moves back up to the north and sets the stage for a next low pressure. Okay, and you can see that this moves a lot of moisture through Texas, the plains, and that again rises, intensifies. A little bit of snow for possibly for the Chicago area, Indiana, northern Indiana, maybe even portions of southern Detroit, and then moving into a good portion of Michigan. Okay, but this is where things take a turn, for the worst, or for the better, and for the better probably, since most people haven't seen snow in New York for a while, so they would want that. But then again, it's already late March at this point, so late to mid-March when this would be occurring. So not everyone would want that, but nevertheless, you could see this is what's going to happen according to the European model. You could see that it has quite a bit of rain to snow transition across Pennsylvania and New York. Then you could see Long Island, New York City would be mainly in the rain, though there would be a little bit of thud of snow, maybe a few hours. You can see the Boston, lots of upper New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, okay, and into Pennsylvania would see some snow, and then this keeps moving forward, okay, and really just intensifies in places like Boston, Maine, okay, Boston, Massachusetts, southern Maine could be really seeing a good dose of snow out of this. Okay, and then we see another system come through with the European, and again, another system we have to keep an eye on for is this one right here. So let's see what the snowfall totals are showing. I'll show you the previous model run as well, as the European has been pretty darn consistent with this event of snow. So that's been a little bit surprising. And you can see for these locations here, okay, I mean the Chicago area maybe 1 to 2, a little bit more maybe in northern Indiana, southern Michigan 2 to 3. Not a big event. It seems at this point. Notice that once we move into New York and the upstate New England, we have up to 9, 8 inches, anywhere in that purple, that is above 6 inches, so above half a foot. That's still a decent amount. You can see that Pittsburgh would probably get a little bit impacted by this, though it would be mainly to the west, or sorry, to the east, but a lot of Pennsylvania would get impacted by this, most of New York State. Okay, so that would be pretty interesting to see how that occurs. Let's look at the previous model run. I think the previous model run had a little bit more snow for those locations, if not quite a bit more snow, if I remember it correctly. So yeah, you can see that it showed more widespread, 8, 7, 8, 9 inches, and it was just on a border between New York City seeing that heavy snow and not, and then Boston would be getting almost a foot of snow. Now, will that change? We'll have to see. It may not, but there still looks to be some pretty good chance you could see another one possibly rising next Saturday, where some of these amounts are at 9, 10 inches, and then they increase to 14, 15, so another 5 to 6 inches could fall. Otherwise, though, if you look at across the country, there's still good snowfall productions, especially across the west. I just want to emphasize that Denver sees its snowiest month in March. Okay, so a lot of these locations are still seeing snow for skiing. That's good, but though right now, with what's going on, it doesn't seem like that's really a top priority. But you can see that snow is falling, and it will continue to. I mean, it's late March at this point, as far as the European goes out, March 29th. This is how much snow is going to fall. Obviously, way lower than it would be, like February, late January. That's when it's like the peak production of snow. But definitely, there's still some good amounts. And look at that voice crack. And it seems like there wouldn't be, spring is coming, just a little bit slower. Like typical, people think spring comes all of a sudden. It's usually kind of takes a step forward, takes a step back, takes a step forward, takes 2 steps back, and it's just always interesting to see whether or not how fast it will occur and when it will occur. As each year, I mean, last year, for example, we had a heavy snow event here in Chicago at April 28th. And it was April 28th, and the average high at that time of the year for us is 65. And we got 3 to 4 inches of snow, and it was all gone the next day. But it was just one of those freak accidents, and I don't think that will happen this year, as it seems like spring will be above average in terms of coming quite early, and it already has arrived across much of Tennessee, Virginia, those areas, and Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi. They've already seen their first their leaf bud breaking and blooming. So it's just creeping slowly upwards to the north. It's gonna be another month probably by the time spring has fully set in. Right now it's on the cusp of kind of setting in, kind of not, but we'll just have to wait and see to when exactly it sets in. That's basically it for today's video. I showed you the GFS, showed the European, I will show you the Canadian. You can see that the Canadian, it's the latest model run, shows, again, the storm right here. It's not really that impressive. You can see it's kind of like the GFS, more light scenario, but the European has been consistent, which still leads me to think that the European has a valid option, or valid a reasoning behind it. Then you can see that Canadian brings out a different storm, possibly across the country late next week. So that's definitely something worthy of watching. And then let's take a look at, I want to show you the latest, or like the previous Canadian model run. And you can see that it was more of a significant storm. It wasn't still showing a lot of snow as it was more rain, but it still showed a pretty strong storm. So more stronger than what it shows now for sure, and another stronger one than it shows now across the Wisconsin, Minnesota area. But again, just because it's closer to the time and we have a recent model run doesn't mean that it's more accurate. It could definitely still change tomorrow in the morning. It could go back to a scenario like this. So we'll have to wait and see. But thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video. Also, again, consider giving me some ideas about videos in the winter if you would like. Those videos would be, those ideas would be very, very much appreciated. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video. Consider subscribing to the channel. Catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.